This video I will be bringing you guys a little bit of hands-on experience because I know sometimes when you guys are riding with your driver's ed instructors, you don't really have a lot of time because you're observing and you're worried about driving. But what we're going to do is that I'm going to show you guys a little bit about neighborhood driving real quick, because a lot of you guys are going to be in neighborhoods. I know some of you guys live in the rural areas and it's not going to be effective or as important to you guys, but there's a lot that can be learned from this right here, okay? We're going to double check when you're backing out. You always want to kind of double check your passenger mirror, your rear view mirror. And the bad thing about my neighborhood, I'll show you guys when we get into the front, is that there's a sidewalk right underneath there. So when you're looking, you got to make sure that as you're backing out that there's nothing behind you, because sometimes pets, like right there, you can see the little dog right there, and we're backing out right now and going real slow. So that's actually a good example of what was happening right there. So we're going to go kind of through this. As you can tell, if you guys direct your attention to the road, it is kind of a narrow street. And oh, we're going, I should have probably went the other way, but it's going to be a very narrow street. And in my neighborhood especially, there's going to be cars parked, so there should be 2 lanes going each way, but in our case it's just not viable. My neighbor, they're not supposed to park on the street, but and as you can see, there's obstacles like trash can, and we're actually in kind of a bad area because the glare's cutting right now, okay? It's the golden hour, okay? So for you guys that are in the photo and all that stuff, you know what I'm talking about. So while I'm driving, one of the things that I want to keep in mind is the speed. Right now I'm going a little under 10 miles an hour and kind of just cruising along. But one thing you want to keep in mind is going to be kids, especially because there's a lot of, usually in neighborhoods there's a lot of kids and a lot of things going on like that. But you don't, like, kids in general, they're very impulsive, so you don't want to, you know, you got to be on the lookout for them. But in terms of speed, we're going to cruise around here. Another thing too is that there's dogs too, and in my neighborhood especially, there's young, or not young dogs, little dogs, because there's a lot of old people in my neighborhood. So you don't want to hit somebody's dog because it's very traumatic. Some of you guys, if you've ever lost an animal, you know it's not a good thing. So right now there's nobody on the road right now, but I'm still not driving very fast, and I like to keep the speed probably maximum 10, maybe 12 miles an hour, okay? So while you're going, as you can see, there's a basketball hoop right there. There's a lot of trash cans, and I'm just surveying the field right now. There's a bunch of new houses being built, so a lot of new families are going to be moving in. But the main thing when you keep on your right side is that you're constantly surveying left and right for children, especially any pedestrians, animals. And as we come up on this turn right here, there's a few things you can take into consideration. So as you can see, it's kind of weird because if you look at these houses right here, these are the back side of the house, so usually people don't come in and out right there. In my brain, I kind of know it's clear on this side particularly, so I'm going to go real slow and kind of creep into this. It's kind of a weird intersection, but we're going to go kind of driving around. So main points of emphasis for this video: you're going to keep your speed probably between 10 and 12 miles an hour. I mean, you just can't, the loss of life is like the big one, and any pets or any other type of obstacles right here. So I've never actually been on this side of my neighborhood. So as you can see, the roads are pretty tight and narrow. I'm going to come around and I'm going to do a 3-point turn, which is, if your driver's ed teacher told you anything, a 3-point turn is not, basically, we don't like that. If you have to do a 3-point turn, you messed up somewhere, is basically the thing. Okay. So another thing to take in consideration is other obstacles. There's like a park bench right here, common area. There's a mailbox here. So you got to keep in mind all the meeting places where there's going to be a lot of people involved. Okay, so we're cruising around. I'm going to be rolling up back to my neighborhood. Here's another example of a super narrow street where you got to just, I mean, my car is pretty small already, but if 2 cars are coming, you're gonna have to get out of the way right here. So we're gonna be cruising on right here, going back and forth. And just remember, points of emphasis: keep your speed good, always surveying. So as you see right here, I'm surveying left and right. The kids, there's a lot of kids. I know for a fact that there's kids coming up on this corner right here. So we're actually gonna go back to my neighborhood, or to my driver right here. So that's just a little quick tip for you guys. We're going to do a little extra credit question for you. Miss Bulldog is kindly enough to have come up with a question, but she forgot already. So what's the question?
What's your favorite sports team?
Sports team. I might have done this one. Okay, so all you need to do for me,